Hi, folks. Welcome to the Third and 10 podcast, season 3, episode 8. I'm your host, Nathan Wynn, joined by my guy, Brian Germanaro. We hope you guys are having a great Thursday here. Um, yeah, heck of a game that we saw last night in the NBA with the Knicks and the Pacers, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. But we got a few football headlines that have definitely been something worth to mention today
hmm
in the episode, right? Whether it's the Olympics and the NFL to the Giants, depending on how you feel. Fortunately, unfortunately, being back on Hard Knocks, but we'll discuss all of that in today's show. But how are you, my friend? Um,
Uh, I'm good. I'm good. I know deep down in my heart, unlike some people, that when you have a challenge, you face it head on. You don't try to
right.
back out of it like Lincoln Riley currently is with Notre Dame. Because if you've missed that headline, USC is banging the drum for to end our rivalry with Notre Dame, which is yet again Lincoln Riley just trying to escape and have a cupcake schedule because I know, and we started out as a joke because when he left Oklahoma was about to go to the SEC. He left for USC Pac-12. Pac-12 is obviously easier than the SEC is. And then throughout USC's been canceling games against LSU, Ole Miss, and now they want to end one of the biggest rivalries in college football, a rivalry which, USC has only won, I think, 4 times since 2010. Kind of interesting because they're gonna end the rivalry with Notre Dame, and then they're not gonna schedule like a Michigan or an Alabama. They're gonna schedule Fresno State to just give
Hmm.
himself another cupcake to get himself an easier win. Lincoln Riley is a fraud, and he does not deserve to be known as a good football coach.
He just wants things to be easier, so that way
Exactly.
he
So it
acts
looks
like that.
better on him.
He, I mean, let's
He
be
played in the
honest.
weak Big 12 for years. They got the thing is, oh, he's a great football coach. No, he just does really well against bad opponents.
Yeah, any team, any Division 1 team, like a team from the SEC or anyone from the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, they're supposed to beat up on weak opponents. It's when you're facing teams in your own conference or you're just a ranked team, you're supposed to just beat them if you want to be known as a good coach. And
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame has always been a prestigious school when it comes
Yeah.
to football, right? And USC Notre Dame is one of the more fun games to watch
It's a
every
top 10
single
rivalry in the
year.
sport. You could argue top five.
Yeah, so don't be afraid. If you can't beat them, figure it out. And
Yeah. Don't
apparently,
run away like he wants to. Because
yeah,
I guarantee you, if Lincoln Riley's not there, this isn't even a conversation.
no, not at all. But hey, he just wants to run from the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I hope it doesn't
No, I
because
hope not either. But if it does, then Notre Dame should just like schedule Michigan or somebody.
yeah, and then because Notre Dame isn't scared of nothing.
No. And we
They
have a
ain't
rivalry
scared
with
of
Michigan
nothing.
that's kind of died off. If we need to replace our biggest rival, let's go make either we're making a new one with Clemson right now, but let's go get another historic rival, a Michigan State, someone like that.
Marcus Freeman ain't scared of nobody.
Nope.
Nobody.
He proved it.
Yeah.
He went to the national championship game
Damn right he did. That dang coaches.
and one of the
Well,
hardest because of how many games you had to win to get to the national championship game.
damn right. Off topic, my favorite Notre Dame uniforms were from the Shamrock one with the
Which
sort
one? The
of
one that wore Yankee Stadium?
the one that I actually no, I think so. Yeah, yeah, the one with like the gold numbers.
Yeah, Yankees the gold
I
outline.
love
Yeah,
that
that was
one.
Yankee
I
Stadium. Yeah.
love that one.
Yeah,
Um
those are tough.
yeah, and I'm very slow when it came to this, but I did not know that once you guys made the playoff, that's when you allow guys to have
That's
the
when the
last
names are on
name
the
on the
back.
back.
Yeah, you earned
Yeah.
your name.
Oh, this makes sense. Makes sense. I
Mm-hmm.
like it. You guys got some, and then obviously, of course, um, what's it called? And I lost my train of thought. I ain't gonna lie. So maybe if it comes up later, I'll remember it and then I'll mention it. but I had it in my head, my next thought, and then I lost it.
That
Which
sucks. That's the worst.
hate that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, today's game plan is as follows, man. We got flag football to talk about in the Olympics as the NFL um, announced a major headline, I guess, or
Mm-hmm.
major rules change.
Decision.
Yeah, major decision, I should say. We'll talk about Gabe Davis possibly coming to the Giants, how that may be a good or a bad idea, depending on how you guys feel, on how you feel, Brian. We'll also talk about the Mets as they head back to Citi Field after a 2-4 road trip, I should say. Well, road trip
I
because
was gonna
you
say
guys
road trip.
just
We went to the
barely even
Bronx and
travel.
went to Boston. It's not really a
Yeah,
road
barely
trip.
even travel.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk NBA playoffs as the conference finals got kicked off over the past 2 days. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's get going. First topic: NFL flag football. As we all know, flag football was announced to be introduced in the 2028 Summer Olympics, but it was unclear as to if NFL players will be able to participate in said Olympics. And this is for a variety of reasons, whether it was safety or just having to prepare for the upcoming season during that time. But the NFL, a league that can be sometimes known as the No Fun League, decided that they wanted to make a good decision for once, and they officially allowed NFL players um, to compete in the Olympics once that time comes. Uh, to be exact, the NFL owners approved a proposal for players to participate. This was a unanimous decision. There are some rules and stuff that uh, will need to be followed if players want to participate. These rules include limit of one player per NFL team, allowing the team's designated international player to play for their own country if they want to. Um, they need to get permission.
Now would that count like say like the Giants wanted to send neighbors, but we also had like a corner that's from Germany. Can he go play with Germany? Would that count against us? Would that count against us? So like
Um,
neighbors can't go to the US?
no,
Okay,
no,
so neighbors can go. So it's one
neighbors can
player per
go, and
team
then yeah,
on Team USA, and then international people can go however many they want. Okay.
that is correct, my friend. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to think of the international player the Giants had. That the kicker, Jude something. You
Oh
remember that
yeah.
guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yes. I think he plays. I think he's from Ireland, so
So if he
he
goes
can
play
go play
for
for Ireland.
Ireland and neighbors wants to go to USA, doesn't
Correct.
matter.
That is possible. Yep.
Okay.
So, um, the other rules include insurance policies if the player gets hurt in the Olympics, and that's going to be a major talking point that I want to bring up
Mm-hmm.
once we get more into this. But yeah, so the flag football, I guess, yeah, the flag football event for the Olympics is scheduled to uh, be played between July 14th until July 30th. So players should be back for training or for the start of training camp. If not, maybe a few days into training camp, they'll be back by around that time. But yeah, overall, my friend, the NFL is the NFL allowing players to participate in flag football a good idea or
Oh yeah, this is a great idea for the. I mean, the USA just won a gold medal. There's no need to play that event with the NFL players out there. Like what country is going to go up against Patrick Mahomes and Malik Neighbors and all these great receivers out there? Who's going to guard them?
hey, no one, right? It's tough
Yeah, you got
because
some poor French plumber. Like, oh God.
I saw a TikTok video. It was like a POV of Team France's quarterback, whoever it's gonna
Yes,
be.
I know the exact
Uh,
video you're talking about.
Blue.
It's chocolate blue.
I'm like, dude,
And he
they
also
are
chocolate
screwed.
blue for you that he snaps.
I'm sending prayers to all the countries who are gonna play the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
In the Olympics, man. And honestly, before we get to like the details of why it's a good idea or a bad idea, like I'm sorry, but if we don't blow out any country we face by like 40
Oh
or
yeah, no, we
50,
can't be competitive in any game.
we
Like
cannot win. Yeah, it
Canada is the
cannot. Yeah.
only country I give us a pass against because they actually play football.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, they do for sure. But like, I'm talking like uh yeah, what
England.
Japan? No, Japan. No, Japan does play football low key. Isn't they? They had like a flag football team
I
that.
mean, I think everyone does play flag football enough, or else they wouldn't have added this to the Olympics. But
Right.
they don't. They
But
don't have the skill sets like Americans do. When they're like, they play it more as like a hobby. You know, like how like the U.S. cricket team a couple years ago, it was like, oh, they upset Pakistan. It was a team of plumbers and stuff. Similar, I think, to teams, you know, overseas and in Japan and stuff. It's like, yeah, they play flag football, but they also have a day job.
correct. And then for the for us, like the guys that we're likely sending, their job, their day job, is football.
Football.
Like that is literally it. Um, so we'll see. Obviously, when we get there for flag football, so it's going to be 6 men's and 6 women's teams of 10 players per team that will participate in the event. It's 5-on-5, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we're sending a whole 53-man squad over
Yeah,
there.
no.
But um, yeah, I for me, it's a great opportunity for the sport,
Mm-hmm.
right? It allows the league to kind of make that next step and make this a global
Yeah.
sport for men and women because it's been known so much. It's just like, oh, it's just America's, an America's sport or American sport, I should say. Um,
But that's been
but they,
challenged pretty recently. I would say with the international games and stuff and games in Germany and
yeah,
NFL Europe for a while, like the teams in Germany had diehard support.
yeah, and it's great that the league is continuing to try to expand themselves and
Yeah.
have games in different areas. But it's also important to like, hey, just because we're not just gonna put games in your country and be like, oh yeah, we're expanding. It's about helping those in those respective countries to kind of get involved in the game and get to be able to play the sport instead of just like, oh, okay, big whoop that we get to watch it. Like we want to actually participate in it, and having flag football be um, introduced into the Olympics that allows people to be like, okay, shoot, I can compete for my country, and I may not have, may have a good chance of winning, but at least I can show off my skills, and that's what I'm just happy that football is in the Olympics for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I'm
Not
happy
tackle
we're
football.
like I know there were some people online mad that like actual flag football stars aren't going to go be able to play, but like it's one of those things where no one cares about like those guys are awesome and I'm sure they do great at their job, but
Hmm.
it's a new sport. You want to, put people's attention on that new sport. Having stars like Patrick Mahomes and these NFL guys will make people watch it, and it could
Correct.
turn into flag football being a mainstay at the Olympics if it gets popular enough. You know, I doubt it will be there in 2032. Would be the next Summer Olympics after 2028. I
Correct.
doubt it's there, but we could see maybe 10 years down the line where we get it maybe an Olympics in Canada or Germany or, one of these other kind of more global hotbeds for football. Flag football makes its return.
Hmm. Yeah, because yeah, obviously not to look too far into it, but if flag football isn't back in 32, makes sense because one of the rules that uh, the NFL mentioned about sending players to go play flag football for the country is that the how do I say this the staff, the Olympic staff needs to make sure that the field is suitable and that will
Yes.
comply with NFL standards. So
We don't
in
need MetLife
28,
turf out there.
no, no, sir. And in 20, right, with the Olympics being in the U.S., um, you know, the fields we literally have fields in LA that are suitable for football.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what in 32 are they going to be playing on a field that's suitable? Is it going to be
Right.
safe? That's why, like you mentioned, flag football may not be there again after the Olympics in 20. But you never know. Things could happen and adjustments can be made and then all that stuff.
2032
So
Olympics is in Australia, so
hey, rugby, they play rugby there,
they already play rugby
in
there, so
Australia.
I'm more thinking of not the field condition of just like the popularity because I know the Olympics likes to
Mm,
add
yeah,
sports that have some kind of cultural significance to the place they're playing in, i.e., white flag football. in the United States. But like it can become a mainstay if it becomes popular enough. So I mean, maybe it could. I don't know what the football situation is in Australia. I can't imagine it being too popular. You don't really. I think they have their own version of football, Australian football,
Yeah,
kind of where all the views go. But like
yeah,
if they go to Germany, that could be where flag football kind of becomes a mainstay. It's like, oh well, this was kind of competitive. This was interesting to watch. Let's go 2036 and then 2042 and 2040, then 2044 and on from there.
off from there. Yeah, so this is gonna be like kind of a quote unquote test trial to see how
Exactly.
everything works
Yes.
out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the U.S. in particular, we've seen obviously like the dream team, the dream team, right, from uh, the most recent Olympics with LeBron and Curry and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and how these guys get to represent their country and um, in the MLB during the World Baseball Classic, where guys like Paul
And the
Skeens and
Olympics.
Aaron, yeah, and the Olympics, right? They represent their own country. This allowing these NFL players to compete for the U.S. allows them to really kind of have that moment where they get to represent their country. And sure, the chances of them winning are pretty damn high to win the gold medal.
It's
But at
probably
the end,
more surprising if they don't win every single game.
yeah, but it's like it it matters to these guys, right? That they get to
Yeah.
play for the country. It's not just for the U.S., but like for example, we mentioned the Giants kicker earlier, right? He gets to play for Ireland, and like he gets to represent his country if he were to just get in onto the roster, just for as an example. Um, but yeah, and who knows? Even though the U.S. is likely going to win, let's see what the other countries got. Let's see what talent is out there.
Yeah.
Just because we're sending NFL players, doesn't mean that there's going to be NFL players in every single country that's going to be representing their country. Like
Look at
maybe,
basketball.
yeah,
Basketball, like there's a lot of countries
it
that don't field NBA
it's
teams that,
not. Yeah,
that give the teams that they give the US a fight. Look at
yeah,
Serbia. Like I know they had Jokic and everything, but the rest of that roster had to perform.
yeah. Sure, they had Jokic, Bogdanovic, all that stuff, but there were other players who just play in that country specifically, and the reason
Australia
why
for
there's
years has been on the come up.
yeah,
That's just a team. I mean, maybe a few of them are in the NBA now, Ben Simmons, but that's a
yeah,
country that was kind of mostly like, okay, these kids have played together since they were 10 and just have good chemistry now. Maybe Germany has a flag football team like that we just don't know about.
and we just so it's gonna be just super fun
Hmm.
to see and find out how things go. But
Do they have the
really,
countries announced, like who's going to be competing yet, or no?
not quite yet,
So
not
if I
quite
had to
yet.
guess, it'd be America. So it's 10, right? So it's America, Canada, Germany, England would probably find a spot there. China, I could see going in there.
It's six men's and
Japan,
six women's teams, by the way. So
how many?
like it's six men's teams and then six women's teams.
Oh,
So
okay, so I think
yeah,
I think
that's
it's
about six. Yeah,
America,
you're good.
Canada, Germany, Japan, England maybe fields the team. Maybe
Mm.
like Mexico. Maybe they get
I
someone.
feel I feel like Mexico would.
Yeah.
I think they have it. They
I definitely think I think the three locks are America, Canada, and Germany. I think those are the locks.
hmm yeah, I think that those are safe to say for sure. Um, I was gonna say, oh yeah, I was gonna say the NFL in the past they have explored creating professional men's and women's flag football league. So
Mm-hmm.
that just
Play 60 was huge with that for a while.
oh yeah, that just goes to show, man. They're really trying to expand the game and just have access for everyone to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be a quote unquote long process to do so because it's not gonna change overnight. But just having the opportunity for people to just represent, I keep saying this, but represent their country, it's gonna be great for everyone. However, I do want to say obviously it's a risk, right, for
Mm-hmm.
the guys from the NFL to play. Because sure, it may be flag football, it's not tackle football, but the chances of getting hurt are just so high. Um,
Yeah,
no,
you run the
we
wrong way.
yeah,
Your knee doesn't go with you. Your ACL's torn.
yeah, we see no contact injuries every single season.
And they're more scary than contact injuries. No
hmm
contact's way more. I'm
Oh
much
yeah,
rather my guy get like this is bad saying, but I much rather my guy get hurt on a tackle than on a no contact, because at least I go like, all right, maybe it's just the wind knocked out of him, maybe it's a bruise, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No contact, it's like, okay, his knee buckled. It's at best it's a hyperextension, and at worst his knee needs a meniscus replacement.
Mm-hmm. And sure, like the NFL, will make sure that any players that get hurt are compensated. Whether it's the insurance policies they have, or the team gets salary cap credit for any player who's injured. But like that's great for the players. Like if they get hurt, they're taken care of, whatever the case may be. But like God forbid, that's not going to make up for the fact that a team could lose a guy like a Justin Jefferson, or Jamar Chase, or
Yeah.
Bijan, or Saquon Barkley, because of a quote unquote meaningless flag football game. That sure, they win a gold medal if they win, but at the same time, if they get hurt, every player's goal in life when they make the NFL is win the damn Lombardi Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much a gold medal in flag football. That's not what they signed up for when they first play football, and their goal is to make the NFL. So,
I mean, just look at the Mets 2 years ago with Diaz. They lost Diaz. I know the World Baseball Classic's gaining popularity, but it's like a newer kind of idea, and it's not at the same level as like the World Cup of soccer and stuff like that. So in a quote unquote meaningless game, Edwin Diaz blew his knee out, missed all of 2023, and has not been the pitcher he was in 2022, because he had an injury where it's very hard to come back from if you're a pitcher. Sure, Diaz has been good, but it's not the dominance we once saw of Edwin Diaz. So there could be that. Like Justin Jefferson hurts himself and can never go back to that top receiver.
mm-hmm.
That is a risk that teams will have to, think about when sending their guys to this event.
I'm right. And Jefferson, he's a big advocate. I think the NFL's, I think they chose him as the ambassador for flag football. So, and he's obviously arguably the best receiver in the NFL. So it's going to be risky, and it's going to be scary, because even though we're all going to enjoy watching our favorite players suit up for their respective countries, we're all going to be holding our breath as to what, when it comes to, possible injuries that may take place. But it's going to be fun. We're going to see superstars out on that field for the U.S. And whether it's, and we've talked about, a dream team before, but now that we know it's 5-on-5, we'll definitely discuss another day which players we want to send. But I know for sure for our Giants, I do.
Jefferson, I think Lamar is the better quarterback.
Oh, we're sending Lamar, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. Do you think? And I this is kind of a, I guess, off-topic question. Do you think the whole roster will be NFL players, or do you feel like we'll get some players from the?
I think
specific flag football team,
if they're smart, they add a couple and do a mix. Like I would say, like what? It's 5-on-5, so it's a roster of 10 guys.
Correct.
So I would say maybe like 8 NFL guys, and then maybe like 1 offense, 1 defensive flag football.
Oh, actually, no. If I don't know if it's a roster of 10, right? Because backups.
So let's just do 10 starters. I think there'd be 10. I think 8 NFL guys, and then you do the 2 flag football guys. So it's a mix.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be smart. I was thinking about that quarterback that played for the U.S. In a flag football, and he was like, I forgot his name. His name was like Daryl's. Like he's specific.
Yes, I know the exact tweet you're talking about. Like this guy, like sure, send him. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, might as well, like, as a backup for Lamar, he's probably not gonna start. Let's be honest. I mean, and no, actually, now you think about that, it's great that we're sending our guys, but are they truly better at flag football compared to like the quarterback and guys that actually?
That's the question.
That's something.
That's the question. You would assume they would have some, some kind of some skills that would translate.
Yeah, I think so, but we'll have to see. It's all going to be exciting to see how the competition is going to look. The roster is going to look like, how the competition for the starting spots look like as well. And obviously, we have some time before we get there.
Yeah, we
Um,
got we got
we
3 years.
plenty of time to see how what things look like, and obviously
I
these
mean, there
NFL
might
players.
be a quarterback that we're not even thinking of yet that might go over.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, for
you
sure.
know, Lamar. How old's Lamar right now? He's what, 27,
I believe so. Yes.
28. So in
Mm,
4 years, so he was born January 1997. So 2020. So he'll be 29. No, that's not right.
3 years
He's
from now.
31. He'll be 31
Mm,
when that Olympics comes around. Are we really going to send a 31-year-old Lamar Jackson there,
it
or
could be
is there
him.
someone in college right now that we don't really know about that's kind of going to set the world on fire?
You never know.
You
So.
know, like say Jackson Dart could be the best quarterback in a few years. We don't know. Jalen Milroe could be the quarterback we send because he's got
Hey,
more of that athleticism and that explosive play that you would think would translate over to a flag football event.
similar to Lamar, has a great deep ball. His legs are what makes him special. So
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to see how the roster looks like for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But overall, NFL players
I
being in the
I
Olympics.
think the only player we can for sure say, and an injury could be the only thing, is Justin Jefferson is the only guy.
Oh no,
If he's
for sure.
already the ambassador, he will be like team captain, Mr. USA.
Yeah, he was already talking about how like it's
He could
gonna be
bring
an
the
honor
flag
to
in.
play for the
He
country.
might walk the flag in during the opening ceremonies.
he I mean, for him to talk about during the press conference when when they announced that NFL players are going to be allowed to play in the Olympics, he was talking about how much it means to be able to play for his country, and like I said earlier, it means something to these guys to be able to represent where they come from, and we've seen that, right? Not that it's a big deal, but we see the flags on the back of each guy's
Yeah.
helmet from where they come from. So um, yeah, we know Jefferson's definitely going to be a part of it. Yeah, he's and as at this time, and I'm sure when even later on, and in the 2028 season, he's still going to be one of the best receivers, barring an
Mm-hmm.
injury in the NFL. So whoever's playing quarterback for us is definitely going to have a weapon or two
Yeah.
with Jefferson and whoever else we send from the NFL for the flag football competition. So good stuff by the NFL. They've been known as the no fun league sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
when we see them kind of throw flags at players for celebrating too hard or celebrating in different ways after a touchdown or whatever the case may be. But good for them, or it's good that they
Yeah.
made a good decision for once. So shout out to Roger Goodell.
I think a
Um,
big part of this is the backlash the NHL got from not sending their guys to the Olympics years ago. And hockey is a much bigger international game, and
yes.
international means a lot. But that was a really big deal. And NHL players did not like being held out of the Olympics. So I think seeing that backlash kind of forced their hand a little bit like, hey, this is what they do. I know it's not a one for one comparison, but we kind of saw how that backlash was. We could get that kind of backlash if we hold our guys out.
Mm-hmm. So thankfully we're not doing that, and we'll see how things look like
Mm-hmm.
once 2020 comes around. But yeah, we'll stick with football though. On the topic here, as we go from the league as a whole to the Giants specifically, because a particular receiver may be or may not be joining the Giants depending on how the team feels. Gabe Davis recently met with New York. Well, it was like last week over the weekend. And for those of you who don't know, Gabe Davis does have some familiarity with the Giants coaching staff, as he was a former player under Brian Dable when Dable was the OC, and Shane was the assistant GM back during their time in Buffalo. So yeah, they had dinner together. Kind of a reunion, I can't even talk. A reunion of sorts.
Yes, there
Uh,
you
dating
go.
dating back to the time there, Davis was with the Bills from 2020 to 2023. Very consistent receiver, if I had to describe Davis, by the way. At least 6 touchdowns per season, 15 yards per reception during those seasons in Buffalo as well. Had that amazing playoff game against the Chiefs in 21, where he had like 4 touchdowns in one game against Kansas City. I think it was in the divisional round. That was a heck of a game to watch. Um, but he recently did play for Jacksonville in 24. Played just 10 games before a knee injury, a torn meniscus to be exact. Took him out for the rest of the year. Was very underwhelming. Even before the injury, had like only 2 touchdowns and 20 catches and whatnot. And the team decided to release him after 1 year into the 3 year, $39 million contract that the team gave him in the 2024 off seasons. And with let's be honest, with Brian Thomas playing as well as he did last year, plus they drafted Travis Hunter this past draft, there was no need for Davis on the
No.
roster. So the thing is, for us though, our receiving core after Neighbors and Slayton, I guess I would say, isn't that quote unquote proven or dangerous. I should say. Wandell's great in the slot, but that's I digress.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Giants should pursue Mr. Davis, or do you feel like they should take Allen Robinson, who was also a former receiver or a receiver for the Giants once upon a time? Should they take his advice and stick with Jalin Hyatt because he believes the Giants should maybe pass on Davis and try to see what they have with the former third-round pick from Tennessee, which is Hyatt?
Yeah. No, I mean, Gabe Davis is nice. I think every Giants fan thought, like, oh, this could be a guy because of the Daboll connection. But I'm more with giving Hyatt the opportunities. We saw, I mean, in the Hyatt's biggest strength has been a deep ball. We know for years the Giants have struggled with that because Daniel Jones can't throw a deep ball really well. But what we've seen this offseason is both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston talk glowingly about Jalin Hyatt. So these are two quarterbacks that, for some reason, have watched Hyatt and like what he does on tape. So I'm expecting a very big season for him. I think this is a season he's going to take a step forward, and he needs as many opportunities as possible. So I would ride out with him. If the Giants didn't sign Darius Slayton, then I'd say, okay, maybe
Yes.
bring in Davis so he can kind of play the role of Slayton in the offense. But with Slayton, bring in Davis. I'd much rather have the young kid who's unproven, try to prove himself before we go with an aging veteran like Dave. Like, what does Davis give you that Jalin Hyatt can't give you? Jalin Hyatt could be
Mhm.
much better than Davis. I'm much rather take the gamble with him.
Yeah. The only thing that Hyatt that Davis has over Hyatt is just experience and
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's a word, but provenness. Yeah, provenness in
yeah.
the NFL.
He's an
Um,
established receiver, whereas Hyatt, you still
correct.
don't know what he is. But if Wilson's talking about him the way he does, he's gonna throw to him.
Yeah. Like when healthy, we know that Davis can be productive and we see how
Yeah.
much of an impact he can make as a deep threat. And if he signs with us, great. Like the more weapons, the better for us, right? And whoever's playing quarterback, whether it's Wilson or if he goes down, God forbid, if he goes down,
Well, I think
whether
that's
it's
why
Winston,
Winston's here. It's Winston,
yeah,
Dart, and
Winston,
then
Dart,
Cutlets.
like yeah, Davis would be great to have, and he's proven, like I mentioned, when he's healthy, he can't produce, and he has that familiarity with Dable on the offense. But like you said, we literally have a guy in Hyatt who can do the same thing, and he's been healthy. Like, do you want to really pull the trigger on a guy that had a torn meniscus last year?
Yeah,
That's a
those are
bit
not
of
easy
a
to come back from.
no, that's a concerning injury. Hyatt's been healthy; he just
Yeah.
hasn't produced when he's on the field.
And that's
Um,
because the quarterback he's playing with didn't play his strengths at all.
Yeah, exactly. Our Hyatt is he is known for being a deep threat because he
Mm-hmm.
has great straight line speed. Now, the thing I guess another thing that is critical to know in terms of the difference between Davis and Hyatt is that Hyatt, his fundamentals, technique, he's not that much of a great route runner outside of just being a straight line guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I would argue against, possibly signing Davis is that, Davis is a better route runner than Hyatt and all those things. But hey, if maybe
But
this season, we see Hyatt improve in those specific, techniques and all and the route tree and all that stuff. We'll see. We'll just have it's just an unknown at this point, and that's
Hyatt's
the one.
only 23 years old. You don't think he can develop into a better
Yeah,
route runner? He's still really young. We forget that because he's been in the league since he was 20 years old. There's still a lot of time for him to develop. He might just not be at his best yet.
yeah, and like you mentioned, he hasn't played with a competent quarterback and thrown
No.
the deep ball. So we'll have to see. And if we do get Davis, it will be a bit crowded in that receiver. I know I said, the more weapons, the better. But like, if you
Well,
sign
someone's going to be
Davis,
cut. Hyatt will be the why. I think if you sign Davis, you're trading Hyatt. It's that
yeah,
simple.
hmm
Like you could
and it's
make
like,
you make Hyatt wide receiver 5. Well, no, the Giants
no,
aren't going
that's
to do
just
that
not ideal.
because then you have an embarrassment of riches. You need to find value. You could probably get a day 3 decent pick for Hyatt, a fourth or
hmm
fifth rounder for Hyatt. Go do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, get yourself just some draft capital or
Exactly.
some players that can provide depth at a different position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But it just seems so like I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to see what your thoughts were. But at
Yeah,
the end of the
no.
day, we also have to mention like the cap space. Like we don't have that much cap space, I believe, at this. I think we have the least amount of cap space
Mm-hmm.
in the league after at this point in time. So signing Davis will be tough for sure. He's probably going to want a good amount of money, even though he is coming off a torn meniscus. He still is going to try to chase the bag. So you might as well just keep Hyatt. You spent a third round pick on him. Like I know
Yeah.
it's not like a first round pick or whatever.
And it was this
But
regime. It's not like he's a leftover from Gettleman. No,
yeah.
you guys saw something in Hyatt and picked him.
So I'm fine with not signing Davis. I mean, he had like like I mentioned, he had dinner with us, but Joe Sheen mentioned on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams how nothing came about afterwards. So
Yeah.
I think
This is just the Giants doing their due diligence. It's that
yeah,
simple.
nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with guys who are on are free agents and see if they're a good fit for your team. And at this point in time, Davis doesn't seem like a good fit, which bodes well for Hyatt because I
Yeah.
just at this point in time, it just shows that they have confidence in the young man, and I do want to see Hyatt have success. I mean, he was supposed to be this guy who comes in as a deep ball threat and score touchdowns and all those things, and he scored one in the preseason, but he has yet to score one in the actual regular
Mm-hmm.
season. Um, and that's honestly goes for all the Giants receivers. Let's be honest. I mean, with the
Yeah, well,
exception
that's
of
also
Neighbors.
when your quarterback combination is Daniel Jones, Tommy Cutlets, Tim Boyle, Drew Lock,
Lock.
Tyrod Taylor. Like you're not really getting much
You're
out of
not,
that.
yeah, you're not scoring a lot of touchdowns. So hopefully that changes with Russell Wilson slated to be the starting quarterback when healthy come at this upcoming season. So we are also in the headlines for other things as well. We are going to be in a Hard Knocks again. Thank God it's not going to be the off season version because it's kind of too late for that. Bill Belichick, thanks. By the way,
Jordan.
no congrats to your engagement or wedding, whatever. I don't care about that.
Hey, I'll go to
But the
Belichick's wedding.
I will not. Not
Congrats
for
to the
that.
happy couple. If you want me to attend, I am more than happy to go attend. Celebrate
Well,
the great marriage of Jordan and Belichick. I know part of my take brought this up, but you realize that Jordan's father is old enough to be Belichick's son. So does he walk her
that's
down the aisle?
weird. That's weird. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm sorry. Ever since we've heard about what she's done, whether it's like messed up heart. No, apparently, she was in talks with a different production company to have a similar show. That's why Hard Knocks wasn't gonna happen with North Carolina. So that just pissed me off even
Why doesn't
more
North
because
Carolina just deal with their football program? Just do it. Just do it in house.
I don't know.
You
I
have
I
the money.
really
You have the money. You're a D1 football program in the ACC with a great basketball program. Don't tell me you don't have the money to go do a production company.
that's I don't know. I don't like her and I don't like him. Honestly, I hope Cal beats the crap out of him when they come to town next season, which I may go to that game. We'll see. But I
Hey,
hope the
Jordan will be on
Bears
the
do.
sidelines. You can say hi.
Anyways, okay. Sorry, I do not like them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so sorry. I'm a hater. I don't care. She sucks. I anyways. So the Giants will be on Hard Knocks again. It's gonna be the in-season version. So last year we saw the in-season version where a division was covered towards the latter end of the year. In the with the AFC North, so that it was the Steelers, Ravens, Browns, and Bengals that were covered during the in-season edition of Hard Knocks. But this year is going to be the NFC East, so the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and the Giants will all be in that in-season show. Some people are upset, but I'm fine with it. I mean, I at least at least, okay. We don't get criticized for like letting free agents go or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. It'll,
And
it'll be
you
fun to
really think
see.
the attention's going to be on us? You really think the attention's going to be on us?
Our quarterback room for sure, but like
But yeah, but like, let's just say the Dayball's like, you know what? We're going with Russ for the rest of the year. They're not going to care about us.
or if
This,
Dart's playing,
this
yeah,
whole thing, it's going to be about the Eagles, Jane Daniels, and Jerry Jones.
that's true. Or if I hate to say it, but if things are bad towards the end of the year, see how Jackson Dart possibly gets to start.
Yeah,
See
and
how that process
that's the
goes.
only storyline that the Giants could other than the Giants
The rookie
shocking the
class
world
as
and
a
going on some
whole.
playoff run, which we don't really see happening. The only storyline the Giants have is Jackson Dart. If Dart's
Yeah.
not playing, we're going to get screen time, obviously, but that show is going to be dominated by the Eagles, the Commanders, and whenever Jerry Jones decides to run his mouth. So as I was like, oh, not again. But when I saw that it's the division and kind of really started to think about it, I'm like, we're really not gonna get that much.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna get that much screen time. I'm more shocked that John Mara let them in the building.
Again,
Is
yeah,
more where my
again.
surprise came from because John Mara's always said he doesn't want the Giants to be a laughing stock, and
Mm-hmm.
Hard Knocks kind of made us more of a laughing stock. But you know what? With 4 teams, the 3 teams having much bigger storylines than we do, we're definitely going to get that back seat and probably have the least amount of screen time. So, you know what? Whatever.
Whatever. It
It'll be
is what
cool
it
to
is.
get some inside access during the season.
Yeah. And I like we both love when our team is on us.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
love
I
it.
hope we do get a lot of hard time at Hard Knocks. That means we're playing well. But
Exactly.
I could see a world where it's just like, oh, the Giants are kind of here.
I ain't gonna lie. The day that when the year comes, when a year comes, oh no, how do I say this? When the Giants are good again, we're gonna be insufferable. Like I'm sorry, like this podcast is gonna be just filled with positive vibes, like trash talk. I ain't gonna lie. Like I know we have to not be super biased when it comes to New York, and we are critical of our team. Let's be honest. I feel like we do a good job of doing that, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when the Giants are good again and we're winning games
Oh, it's going to be
consistently,
fun. I can't wait for the
oh,
Giants
we're
to be
gonna
good
be
again.
insufferable, man. Because like
It's been a
for the
decade.
past,
It's been a decade plus.
yeah, the past couple years when we had this podcast, let's be honest, we've been trash.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to hopefully be good again, maybe it's this season even with the tough schedule, it's gonna be fun to just talk about the Giants every week. But we'll have to see. We talked about it when the schedule came out. It's going to be a tough one to say the least. This upcoming season, whether it's starting with the Commanders and the Cowboys, but our home opener being the Chiefs does not do us any favors.
No.
Oh, I will have to say, I think you found a Taylor Swift. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Malik Neighbors loves Lotto, the rapper.
Oh.
She's good. She's really good, by the way. She's very attractive. To Malik.
How do you spell it? I've never heard of her.
Latto. Latto. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. He was on on a podcast with Carmelo Anthony, Knicks legend. We'll get to the Knicks later on the show, by the way. I guess they're talking about Lotto, how like, oh yeah, Malik, you should come to a Knicks game. Like Lotto is always is gonna be there, and stuff like that. And Malik was like laughing, and then you could just tell like he loves Lotto for sure, and wants her to be and to come to a Giants game. So I'm just saying.
We have, isn't it Garrett Wilson dating Ice Spice?
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner. I wasn't
Sauce
sure if it was Sauce or Garrett Wilson. I know one of the two was dating Ice Spice. I know there's a Jet doing it.
Yeah. Hey, the Giants don't have that. I guess that female to give them good luck, or that woman to give.
We have oh my God. Wilson's.
Ciara.
Ciara. We have Ciara. We're good.
That's true. That we do have Ciara. But for Malik's sake, Lotto, come to the Giants game for Malik's sake. Come on now. You love him. Hey, I'm just saying Malik is a great player to possibly, have a relationship with, I should say, because hey, he likes her. It seems like a lot based off the interview that I watched with him and Carmelo. So that
Hey,
she can be
whatever
our
works,
Taylor Swift of
whatever we
sorts.
need.
Hey, whatever brings good luck, I guess. But
I still want Tommy College to date Sabrina Carpenter. I think that'd be hilarious.
that would be cool. And I'm a big supporter of Sabrina Carpenter, as you know quite well.
I
Love her
mean, I love
music.
Sabrina Carpenter too. I think it's just more funny if her dating Tommy Cutlets, if anything. If anyone. Could you
Well, that's the one
imagine?
actually. Yeah,
Yeah. And
that'd
Sabrina
be interesting.
Carpenter's there, and her boyfriend. Well, he's not in uniform today.
Yeah, he is not in uniform, but hey, he's on the sidelines in street clothes or
He's there.
team. He's wearing something. He's wearing team associated gear or whatever. By the way, I fully expect him to be cut by training camp.
I
By
think he'll be
the end
traded.
of.
I think traded's better.
Hey,
For
good. Give us
for
some draft
nothing.
capital.
For nothing. Like we're gonna get maybe a
Uh,
7th-round pick.
I'll take it. Hey, those 6, 7 round picks could be something. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
The Saints need a quarterback. I think one of their backups got hurt today. So,
I mean, if anyone's going to the Saints, it's Jameis. I don't think they'll take Cutlets.
Yeah. I hope we keep Jameis though.
I do too, but like
2 years, right? Jameis
2
is
years.
2 years.
2 years. Yep.
Oh yeah, we're keeping them.
Because I think they weren't sure with quarterback situations. So they wanted some veteran for next season.
No, I think we're keeping Jameis. I think people.
No, I do too. I'm just saying they gave him a 2-year deal because they weren't sure how the draft was going to go. And then, like, if we don't get a rookie, we get a rookie next year, and we have Jameis ready to go.
Yeah, I think with when people found out about the Derek Carr retirement, they were like, "Oh yeah, the Giants should trade Jameis Winston." But I
mean, Jameis did have his best season with New Orleans. Granted, they were under Sean Payton, but if Kellen Moore is this offensive wizard we all think he is, he should be able to figure out how to make it work with Jameis Winston. At least be competitive with Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I think the only thing for me, like, it's just the contract stuff because Russ is only here for us for a year.
Yeah,
Winston for 2 seems like Winston has
the
more.
The thing is, it's whoever's under contract doesn't matter. It's Jackson Dart show next year. He's the quarterback.
And yeah, that's facts. Or we'll have to see. We really just don't know.
I would be shocked if Jackson Dart is not the week 1 starter next year. Something bad had to have happened if he's not the starter next year.
Unless Russ just turns it around.
I don't think they're going to give Russ a long-term deal. I think it's Jackson Dart.
I think if he does well, we'll give him another 1-year deal, 1 or 2 year deal.
I don't know. With a first
because this Jordan Love situation.
But then you have Jameis then for that.
No, then Jameis can be released. If Russ plays well to the point where
I don't think they give any sort of one. I think Russ is a one and done type guy. Regardless.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think for me, if anything, Winston's traded next offseason.
That I could see.
Russ plays well, and then Dart goes up to quarterback too, and that's why I mentioned the Jordan Love situation where it's like, you draft the quarterback first round,
but then Russell Wilson's gonna have to play like really, really well because
that's what I'm saying. Like if he plays
Daboll's
really,
still on the hot seat is the problem, and he might not have 3 years to develop a quarterback like that.
Correct. But if Russ plays well, that means the Giants did something right this season. So I hope that's the case for our boys, man. But we'll have to see. It's we'll be definitely going through the rosters and whatnot. Hopefully, I think it's sooner rather than later because we don't plan on doing any division previews until about July. Because I wanted to do team by team, but it's just like
we don't have time for that.
The scheduling issues and all that. Plus, there's something wrong with spending maybe 20 minutes on each team when the time comes. So division previews will be in July.
Right. And can you really make a whole episode about like the Bears? I know you could.
The Chicago Bears.
Can you really make a whole episode about like I'm trying to think. Like the Colts are interesting. I mean, you can find storylines for anyone, but like, do you really need like 20 minutes saying why the Chiefs are going to be good again?
Not really. We don't.
Like, they're good. They got Patrick Mahomes and Rashid Rice is coming back. They were just in the Super Bowl last year.
As long as Travis Kelce hopefully bounces back, they'll likely have success once again. Just not against us, hopefully.
Yeah.
But that's it for the Bills. Yeah, like I mentioned, will be the training camp choice for Hard Knocks. So hopefully we see Haley Steinfeld maybe make a little cameo.
She will definitely make an appearance.
Yes, because she is a GOAT, and Josh Allen is my favorite non-Giants quarterback. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. The Mets.
The Mets.
The Mets. At least you guys won. You guys won yesterday.
Yeah, we salvaged the series in Boston, which was nice.
Sure did.
2-4 on the road. Definitely in our first kind of cold streak right now. But we had signs. We had signs yesterday of us kind of putting it together. We saw Brett Beatty, who we're going to talk about a little bit, have a big hit, driving some runs. And that kind of took like the monkey off our back that we can't hit runs in scoring position. We saw, Francisco Lindor hit the first home run in 217 at-bats for the New York Mets. They've not hit a home run. And that whole thing kind of goes into my first talking point. I heard the Mets Up podcast. Great. They're on YouTube. Go listen to them. They break down the Mets amazingly. They kind of brought this up as the approach the team is taking is weird. A lot of guys this season have shortened their swings. Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, which we're not talking about Juan Soto because it's all Pedro Martinez, who was once the highest paid player in baseball, said that once there's an adjustment period, it'll work out. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd much rather take the advice of a man that's been in Juan Soto's shoes before, having had the largest contract in baseball history, than a bunch of guys who had never picked up baseball in their life. So Juan Soto is fine. He'll be fine. He's uncomfortable right now. He's adjusting. End of discussion. But it seems like the approach is very like singles-driven, contact first, which I like, but they've gone so far with it. We're not driving the ball. We're not looking for the long ball, which, you can't live and die by the home run because that's when offenses get so hot and cold. But at the same time, you can't live and die by the single and contact. You need to strike a balance. You need to have guys that in that lineup are looking to, get that hit through the infield, get that weak contact again on first base, but also have someone that's going to come up here and put the ball, in the seats where no one can catch the ball. So I think that approach needs to change. Maybe, I don't know how that approach changes. I don't really think firing the hitting coach does anything this season, but that's something that's got to change. Just look to drive the ball more, make better contact, the rest. And we've seen the Mets, even in their struggles, are shaking up the lineup. We saw yesterday, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso moved down to 3 and 4. And on the broadcast, they said, this is what Mendoza wants to do. He wants Juan Soto batting third. He wants Pete Alonso batting fourth. The issue is, what do you do in the two hole? And for me, they put Starling Marte there last night. I don't think that's a long-term answer. I love Marte. He's a great guy. He's a bench bat at this point. Maybe gets a couple days at DH if someone needs an off day here and there. But he's something more to bat off the bench. He can't be batting second. So, in my opinion, there are 3 guys that you could put in that 2 hole. The most likely candidate, and the one everyone's kind of talked about, is Mark Vientos. Vientos did struggle this year. He's got 232, 399, 375 slash line, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 93 OPS plus. But he had a putrid start to the season. In the last 30 games, his numbers have greatly improved. In the past 30 games, his batting average is 282, a 325 on base percentage, a 464 slugging. That's someone you can feel comfortable about putting in your 2 hole. Another guy, a guy I think I would do right now, is Luis Angel Acuna. He's kind of been the big surprise for the Mets this year. A 267 batting average, 323 on base percentage. Doesn't really have any home run pop, but that's not the player he is. He's a speedster. He's got 10 stolen bases. You put that at the top of the lineup, and it goes Lindor, Acuna. Acuna gets on first base with a stolen base threat. He's on second. Now you have a guy on second with Juan Soto and Pete Alonso coming up. I don't know about you, but Acuna is a perfect table setter for the heart of our order. And you could put Vientos at 5. So it would go Soto, Alonso, Vientos, 3 opportunities to drive in Acuna at second. I think he fits the best. I think that's our best fit. That's what I would go with. But another guy that's kind of has an argument to be made is Brett Beatty, which I think would shock a lot of Mets fans. Brett Beatty has not had great overall stats this season. 222 batting average, 247 on base, 444 slugging, which you kind of like to see, 5 home runs, a 94 OPS plus. But since April 13th, which kind of was the last few days of his first stint with the Mets, got sent down and was called back up. Since then, 310, 356, a 762 slash line, 206 WRC plus. And the Mets are confident with Beatty because they gave him a start last night at third base against Garrett Crochet, a very tough left-handed pitcher, and Brett Brady proved it. He got the double down the line that drove in 2 runs that kind of started the Mets driving in run scoring position. Brett Beatty has established himself as the everyday third baseman. This is not a knock against Mark Vientos at all. Vientos is a great hitter, not a great fielder, so his spot is the designated hitter. That's where I think he'll be. But any one of those 3 guys I just mentioned can be perfect in that 2-hole. Like I said, if I had to rank the guys, I think I do Acuna 1, Vientos 2, Beatty 3. But any one of those guys I think is fine at second. Quickly before we stop, I want to get some love to some Mets pitchers. Huskar Brazaban has been the best reliever that nobody is talking about. He's the most reliable pitcher out of the Mets pen right now. He got 7 outs last night against the Boston Red Sox in relief. 7. He's traded 14 of 16 inherited base runners in 30 innings. He has a .9 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 8 walks, a 7.62 whip, and an ERA plus of 4.32. All right. Brazaban is like one of the few relievers that when he comes to the game, I'm confident that nobody is getting on base. No one's crossing the plate. And how about a little love to Clay Holmes, the experiment? You know, coming into the season, we didn't know how Clay Holmes was going to pitch as a starter. Hasn't really done that in his entire career. Well, so far, so good. In 54 and 2/3 innings, he's got a 3.13 ERA, 53 strikeouts, 20 walks, a 1.244 whip, and an ERA plus of 124. His ground ball percentage is in the 87th percentile, a fastball percentage in the 94th percentile, a pitching value of the 88th percentile. He's established himself as a solid mid-rotation arm for the Mets, which is exactly what you want to get from him. So, you know, the pitching's been good. Hitting showed life last night. We got a tough series against the Dodgers coming up, but once the Dodgers are out of town, 3 games against the White Sox, 3 games against the Rockies. That's the time I think you're going to see the Mets kind of break out of it. We got a good homestand coming up. I think it's going to be like a 7-2 homestand for the New York Metropolitans when we talk a week from today.
Unless you're the A's, sometimes all you need is a homestand, a long homestand to get things back on track.
Yeah, so hey, a long homestand against very easy opponents outside of the Dodgers. You know, you steal 1 game for the Dodgers, and you got 2 sweeps basically staring at you.
And let's be honest, outside of Yamamoto, the pitching staff of the Dodgers is not that great at this time.
I think we faced Yamamoto one of the days. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I think Yamamoto just pitched not too long ago.
But they always sneak up on you.
Yeah, it's true. I know Kershaw's back for them.
He's going. Back. I believe tomorrow he's going.
I think you guys should have a solid game against him.
Yeah, Kershaw's going tomorrow against Griffin Canning.
Canning.
Canning's been great too.
Hell yeah.
Tony Gonsolin is going on Saturday against David Peterson, and then
shout out to Pete, by the way.
Shout out to Peterson. Yeah, so we completely missed Yamamoto this series, and we got Landon Kinnick going Sunday for the Dodgers against Kodai Senga on Sunday Night Baseball.
As long as you guys limit that offense, I think you guys have you guys will be fine for sure. Yamamoto has been great this season, but for the pitching, big fan of Peterson's game so far, and of course Clay Holmes.
Peterson and Senga are like 1-2 with Clay Holmes and Griffin Canning kind of securing the middle.
Yeah, so it's been great. Excited for Sunday Night Baseball. Definitely gonna be watching that one for sure to see your boys and how they do. I didn't enjoy seeing them as much last Sunday.
Yeah, let's hope for a better broadcast booth.
Better start. Everything. Better start to the game compared to last.
Yeah, better start. Maybe not a broadcast booth that just loves the New York Yankees more than us.
I know. A little biased with the announcers last week, but I digress for sure. And hopefully,
like Juan Soto, you signed the richest deal in baseball. Talk about Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe we see Soto mic'd up again. Maybe this time we just talk about other stuff with him or
Dodgers. Yeah. By the way, did you see the report on Monday? And I tweeted it out. Like, they keep adding fuel to this narrative that Soto doesn't want to be a Met. We're like, well, Soto won't take Boston.
I did see that.
Guys, what? No, see, that's when it's getting silly. That's when you know you're pushing a fake narrative that makes no sense.
Are they out of headlines at this point?
Pretty
Like, come
much,
on,
yeah.
we're in May, man. Like, it's over already. Like, if he wanted to choose Boston, he would choose Boston. But what?
I remember,
Dude,
at
that's
Thanksgiving, they're like, he's gonna be a Red Sox. I'm like, all right.
sure. Oh, so
Oh,
scary.
oh.
Sorry, I thought when you did that, I immediately thought of the danger witch. Like,
Oh no, that's
whoa.
why I did it. It's the danger witch.
Be careful, it's spicy.
It's spicy.
It's spicy.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done? Whoa, whoa,
whoa. Freaking Russ, dude. The goofball, I swear.
Quarterbacks are funny for unintentional reasons.
I've
My buddy called me the other night, and he's like, "Bro, I'm watching the Knicks game, and I saw Russell Wilson on the court side, and I laughed because he's so unintentionally funny. He wasn't even doing anything. He just waved, and he looked funny.
He's
the best, bro. He's the best.
I'm glad he's our franchise quarterback for the upcoming season, or maybe the starting quarterback, not franchise guy, because that but yeah, he's done a lot of our quarterback room is such a me. That's why I no wonder Hard Knocks chose the NFC East for the in-season edition of Hard Knocks. That way they can cover our quarterback room and see how that goes.
I mean, can we just get a Hard Knocks of our quarterback room, and we just have a camera, like an office style thing, where just a hidden camera, and we just see like what these idiots do.
A Giant's Life quarterback.
A Giant's Life, the quarterback room.
Love that, by the way. I love that we do that.
Oh, Giant's Life is the best. With Bob Papa.
Oh, I love it. And how they
Chef's kiss.
It's better than Hard Knocks for sure. Because Hard Knocks they get. I actually got HBO Max the other day. By the way, I am still watching the Fast and Furious series. Finished the second one yesterday.
You ever seen Fast and Furious either?
No, but I'm working on it. I'm on the third one right now. Huh?
Say clearly.
I know. I'm very behind, my friend. I'm sorry. But good movie series.
Just a little behind the scenes for you. I sent Nate a list on I think a week ago, and it had like 60 movies he hadn't seen, and they're like well-known movies.
This is why you're my co-host, because
Jurassic Park is on there.
Jurassic Park. Do. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, I literally have it right here on my phone. I'm pulling it up. Just a few of them. Here we go. So all the Star Wars movies, Step Brothers, you've seen Happy Gilmore, right?
Once in the hospital.
Okay.
It was a sad
Dodgeball, Jaws, The Matrix, the Dark Knight
I've seen it for sure. Nope, never that one. I seen The Matrix with
The Matrix. Oh, yeah, I've seen The Matrix. Okay, good.
Yeah.
The Jump Street movies.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Schmitz effing the captain's done.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Scene.
All right. So there's a few movies you've seen on this list. So you'll have to go through it and kind of take off the ones, or just
still
check
got
the
many.
Ones you've seen.
Yeah. Just because I've seen a few doesn't mean I'm cultured. I'm very uncultured still, so I have a lot more work to do, my friend. But as we shift from the baseball field to the basketball,
you really had to use that picture.
Heck yeah, I did. You know how cool that is. That's okay, man. I tell you, what a shot! Halliburton has been absolutely phenomenal.
It wasn't a shot because if it goes an inch in any direction, that ball does not go in.
I know, but like
that was pure luck. That ball went in.
Hey, I'm just saying.
No, it was luck. It hit the rim, went straight up in the air. If it moves in any sort of direction, it does not go in. It just stayed perfectly.
I'm just saying when
it's a lucky shot. Lucky shot.
When Kawhi hit that shot against the Sixers a few years ago.
That was luck.
That was luck. That ball bounced like 3 to 4 times in the rim. Halliburton was just a shot that hit the top of the rim, bounced up, and went right back in. And I'm just saying, Halliburton has been great in these playoffs. He took out Milwaukee easily.
I mean, he wasn't really like a factor in the Cleveland series.
But the thing with him, I bet to disagree.
He had some off games that day. He had 4 points in one game.
I think with him, it's like he can be inconsistent. There's no doubt about it. But when he's on. Like he's not known to be much of a scorer. But like these past couple of games, he's put up at least 30. Yeah, he put up 31 against Cleveland in that deciding game. He put up 31 last night against the Knicks.
Yeah.
I
think the better Neesmith is the hero last night. That's the guy you talk about. Guy made 6 straight threes.
Dude, he was on fire.
He put the team on his back and overcame the Knicks because before that streak, the Knicks had the game was over. They buried them.
Yeah. No, you're in terms of the Cleveland series, you are right. He put up 22 and 19 in games 1 and 2. He did drop 4 and 11 after that. 4 points and 11 points in games 3 and 4, but he turned it up again with 31 points in the game 5
In
to
the
decide the
clincher game,
series.
he showed up.
Yeah, with him, it's like he's truly a point guard who can score when needed to, when he needs to, and he did that in game 1 against the Knicks. And look, Neesmith was great. I think with if you get, I don't know if we're gonna get another performance like that out of Neesmith in
I
game
think it's
2, because
physically
that
impossible
was,
to get another one like that.
hey,
He was
I'm just
so
saying,
hot last night.
I would drug test the guy. I'm just saying that.
I said that 6 times last night. I'm like, somebody test him.
It is just because he was just way.
Every shot he made, after like shot 4, I'm like, he made 4 in a row, right? Then shot 5 happened. I'm like, okay, this is a little ridiculous. Maybe he's taking something. And then shot 6, I'm like, okay, somebody test his urine right now.
Somebody, like, this is concerning.
I need the NBA, like, during the celebration, you need to pee in this cup, sir.
He was great yesterday for Indiana, but honestly, I low key, not to be a hater. I never hated the Knicks, never did. I actually feel like they'll win the series.
I don't. This is a bad.
It is a rough start.
It's a bad omen for the rest of the series. That all the breaks went the Pacers' way, and all the luck, and they lost in such a heartbreaking way, and they blew it. I've seen it so many times where, like, that's a bad omen. That's a bad way to start a series, and that kind of catches up with you. If you're a Knicks fan right now, Game 2 is a must win, and not just a must win. It is a win by 15 type game. Like, you need to go out there, dominate, and then bury the Pacers, and then you need to go to Indiana and steal 1 to make it a 2-2 series. Make it best of 3 with 2 games at the Garden. That's it. Mm-hmm. That is best case scenario if you're a Knicks fan right now. Obviously, besides, winning everything.
You never want to lose the first game, especially if you're the home team, to start a series. It's tough. And if Indiana steals game 2 and they head back to Indiana up 2-0,
that's bad. Then we're in a rough spot.
Mm-hmm. So, but shout out to Halliburton. And the squad. NBA teams were 0-970 in the playoffs over the last 27 years when trailing by 14 plus points with under 250 to go left in regulation. The Pacers comeback is made it now 1-970.
Yeah, it's another chapter of the Pacers, brutal history against us. It's right up there with Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds. It's right there. Yeah, but Reggie Miller actually deserved to do that.
I know, but man, if it was a 3-pointer instead of a 2, it'd have worked out.
I would have loved it if the Knicks would have won, because that would be the most mean picture of all time.
Yeah,
it would. I think it might have ruined his reputation.
No, man, low key. But yeah, we'll see what happens in game 2. As we are recording this at this point in time, it's going to be game 2 of OKC and Minnesota. Or Minnesota and OKC to kick off today. Thunder took game 1, 114-88.
Pretty convincingly.
Yeah, Randall was great for the Minnesota, but
Caruso
took care of Anthony Edwards. Bum. Sorry, I'm kidding. He may have costed me some cash,
some money. I had the all Nick bet the other day. I had
really?
I had Randall 25 points. I had DiVincenzo, I believe it was over 14.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined, and Hartenstein over 20 points, rebounds, and assists combined. It missed. Hartenstein and DiVincenzo needed like 4 more points each. But Randall hit no problem.
Oh, yeah, he hit it by dang halftime. Honestly, the way he was
playing. Halftime, I'm like, all right, we're in a pretty good spot right now.
But yeah, OKC took care of business. We'll see what happens today in game 2. Low key, I feel like rest had something to do with it. OKC only had 1 day of rest, but sometimes too much rest is a bad thing, and it seems like that was the case
in a sport like basketball, where like rhythm is such an important factor.
Yes,
sitting on the sidelines and getting out rhythm is a death sentence.
Yes, sir. So hopefully they bounce back here in game 2, before they head to back home to Minnesota, because if OKC's up 2-0 after tonight, it's gonna be tough for Minnesota. But other headlines across the sports world, the Tush push will remain, is here to stay. 12 22 teams voted to ban it, which is too short of what they needed to get, because when a rule is passed, it takes at least 24 votes, and they were too short of it. 10 teams voted against the ban, including the Eagles, obviously.
Shocking.
Well, oh, yeah.
I think they had the full list the other day. I saw the Patriots were there, the Jets were there, the Saints were on that list.
Yeah.
I bet you the
Ravens,
Cardinals and Colts were probably on that list.
Ravens, Browns, Lions, Jags, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, and Titans.
Wow.
So Giants.
I'm solely saying the Giants voted no because it's the Eagles and helps the Eagles. And it's like, well, we might not agree with this, but if we ban it, the Eagles could be bad. So we'll just ban it.
But
it
better be because of that, because if it's for other reasons, such as it's
the player safety argument that makes no sense. Yeah.
We tried that. We sucked. You know why the reason why 2 of our players got hurt doing the tush push is because we didn't do it right. So
and we don't have the personnel to do it.
Exactly. We don't got big dudes in the O line we don't have an Eagles type of offensive line.
Yeah.
So, speaking of linemen, by the way, the NFL is going to introduce the Protector of the Year award to award the league's best offensive lineman. So, Andy Thomas, come on, let's be healthy this year, my friend, and get ourselves some hardware. And finally, Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel will be 1 and 2 to start OTAs.
Told you.
Anyways,
you said Shedeur Sanders would be the week 1 starter. I'm like, absolutely no way.
This doesn't mean I'm just to start OTAs. Sorry, my audios are kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
This could mean that doesn't mean anything in terms of.
I mean, fair, but like you think if they had all the stock in Sanders, they want him over Gabriel in the OTAs.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know about Pickett. Gabriel is not better than Shedeur, and Joe Flacco is old as can be. I'm just saying, Cleveland wants to
win but only one of those quarterbacks did Kevin Stefanski make a playoff appearance with. And one comeback player of the year over a guy that died.
Yeah. Oh, and some breaking news. Not really breaking. Two headlines. One breaking news, one not. We'll start with the one that's not. There is video that came out of the Giants, a private conversation between Dable and Jackson Dart, where I just lost it. I literally just had it, and this sucks.
The Twitter did the thing where like you open it and it refreshes.
Yeah.
I just want to read the one thing.
Thank God I liked it. So Dable in a private call with Jackson Dart says, quote, "I'm banking on you." And Jackson Dart says, "Smart." You can watch the full video on YouTube. I think that's on Jackson Dart's YouTube channel. But Dable says, quote, "I'm banking on you, Jackson." And Dart says, "Smart man." So
I like it. Like the confidence.
Like it. Dude, they love each other, man.
Oh yeah.
It's I can't wait to see him on the field. He has some aura to him. But the real breaking news, Abdul Carter officially signs his rookie contract with the Giants, a 4-year, $45.25 million deal.
Not there was much, doubt.
No doubt about it, yeah. Let's not sign a first-round pick. Oh, sorry, unless you're Cincinnati. Jamar Stewart, they're a mess over there in Cincinnati, but at least we don't have those problems. But Carter is now signed, so 3 rookies for New York are unsigned at this point in time. That is Jackson Dart, Darius Alexander, and Cam Skadaboo. But we'll get there. Obviously, they'll get signed eventually. But I'm glad that we have our guy officially signed. Yeah. I'm excited to see Carter on the field, man. And yeah. Other than that, that is pretty much it football-wise and headline-wise as a whole.
You're not the Toronto Maple Leafs, which have lost their 7th consecutive Game 7. Oh, I'm sorry, their 8th consecutive Game 7.
Damn, really?
Yes. Oh. They're done. They're breaking up the core. They are retooling officially.
I would too. Shoot, you keep losing Game 7. Something's wrong.
Yeah, they're cursed. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967.
Oh, what the fuck?
And you're like the premier team of the NHL. Like when you think the NHL, the Maple Leafs are probably one of the first 3 teams you think of.
Hockey is Canada's sport. Not for the Maple Leafs, I'll tell you that. Who's in the top four now? Stars.
It's the Stars, the Oilers who blew a 3-1 lead last night, lost 6-3 in game one, and then Panthers and Carolina. Panthers up 1-0 over the Hurricanes.
How do you go from 3-1 to 6-3? What the fudge?
You forget how to play hockey in the third period.
It seems like.
It's because the Oilers not having a good goaltending situation and just kind of living off Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to carry them far.
My God, I gotta watch hockey again. I had to cancel my YouTube TV subscription. That's just way too. Man, TV subscriptions these days are expensive, man. We talking like 80 something. Jeez, I have to figure out a way to watch this game some another way. But anyways, we head on to pickle, my friends. Who did I got the player last time? It was the what's his name?
Diamondback, Luis
Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's see. Who we want to guess to start today, my friend. So
let's go with Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes.
No, Brazoban. Go Brazoban. Oscar Brazoban.
Holy crap! Okay, I'm gonna go
Brazoban. There he is.
He's 35.
Yeah, he got came up late.
Thought he was younger, my friend. Oh, good guess.
Okay. A righty might play in the East. Older, or
East?
Older.
Who's in the East? 33, 34, or 36, 37. Not a relief pitcher, so he's probably a starter. We'll give it Cole. No, wait, he's ready, right? Yeah, he's ready. Yes.
That's Connor Holderman. He's 34.
Oh!
Oh!
Ah, fudge! I thought I had it. Oh, so excited.
An older Yankee, Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, it's probably this could be that fastest one. Recent memory. Holy shit! Good stuff, my friend. Game, set, match. Yeah, we don't like Yankees, so get him out of there. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that'll do it then.
Wow, yeah,
nice. Hell yeah, that was quick. You can but great show today as always. We discussed a variety of topics today. We talked about the NFL players being allowed to play flag football in 2028 at the Olympics. So excited to see Team USA get another gold medal. It's going to be fun, barring any surprising things to happen. I swear, if we get the silver or the bronze, I'm going to crash out.
It's an embarrassment if we don't get gold.
Yeah, and I will literally despise every single NFL player.
Oh yeah, I hate them all.
Be like, so
you're an embarrassment to America. George Washington is crying because of you.
He did not sacrifice himself on that boat or crossing the
Delaware.
Whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say crossing that whatever river it was called. Then
Delaware River.
Yeah, for you to lose to freaking Mexico in football. I'm telling you, dude, our requirements for the U.S. for flag football are so high. If you're gonna win, you better win by 35. Well, in my opinion, you better win by 35. They better not score more than 7 points, so 1 tutty. And you better win the goal. If you do not follow any of
my requirement is gold medal. That's mine.
Yeah, that is literally the requirement. You cannot. Yeah, they better not.
Gold medal, and if you're playing a team not named Canada, you got to beat them by like 30.
Yes.
Canada, I will give a pass to Canada because Canada probably should field a pretty good team.
Yeah, and you better kill France.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've never heard of any football player from France.
I don't even think France will field a team.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They'll
get some attempt to field a team. I don't think they'll do well.
They'll get some Frenchmen. Oui.
Sacre bleu.
But yes, so shout out to the NFL players, man. Excited for them in 28. We'll talk about Gabe Davis possibly going to the Giants. We both agree that Hyatt is a better option and the Giants should trust in him rather than sign a guy coming off a torn meniscus. Giants back on Hard Knocks as part of the in-season edition of it. And we talked about the Mets as they begin their 9-game homestand against the Doyers. fully expect the Dodgers. I mean, fully expect the Mets to have a good record out of this homestand when everything is said and done. And then we end the show with a NBA playoff update, as with other headlines surrounding the sports world. So that'll do it. You can follow us on social media. You can follow me at Nathan underscore 124. You can follow Brian at Brian PD1016 on the Twitter. And you can follow our podcast page on all social medias, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the YouTube at Third and 10 Pod. And you can find our article work and other podcasts / other writers at bellyupsports.com. So that'll do it. We'll see you guys next Tuesday with more headlines and more things to talk about as well. And hopefully the Giants have the rest of the rookie class signed, and we can talk a lot more Giants when the time comes. So for Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.